So this week I am so delighted to chat with Jane Randall, who is a former international dressage rider. Now she's a BD or British Dressage Level 4 coach and mentor. She has a master's degree in professional practice in sports coaching, and excitingly, she's an advanced functional breathwork coach. Jane's very interested in how we learn, and she's now bringing the functional breathing, which she's calling the silent aid, into her performance coaching and excitingly again, beyond the saddle. So, big warm welcome, Jane.
Thank you very much, Tracy. Very happy to be here.
So, before we get into talking lots and lots about the breath work, what's your horsey journey? Did you start from an equestrian family?
No, mother terrified of horses. Um, Father, very sporting, but not equestrian, but also very competitive. So he did support my. I persuaded them to buy me a pony, I think, when I was 13. I got there eventually, did pony club and did okay.
Yeah,
Evented and show jump, did everything, did
yeah.
everything. And then went through that journey, came out like many teenagers do, early 20s, had to go and get a proper job. So I actually gave up riding then and came back to it in my 40s. Well, when I was
Oh,
40.
wow. Oh,
Uh,
super.
yeah, I'd always been quite good at dressage, even when I was eventing, was always my best phase.
Yeah.
Um, and I bought, or actually, my husband bought me an Irish horse to hunt. And I kept him at a yard, actually with Jenny Lauriston Clark's yard, which was then near us. And I trained him to Grand Prix, and we didn't do much hunting.
Wow.
I just got the bug,
Yeah.
and didn't look back from there. I went down the centre line of my first international when I was 44. I
Super.
really, really loved the training
Yeah.
and bought another horse who was quite good. He was the one that did the international.
Yeah.
And I haven't looked back since then. Because I'd done okay, I was asked to help other people, which then kicked me off on the coaching journey. Did all my BD accreditations and popped out the other end as a level 4 coach and and
I
did a
don't think
master's.
anyone just pops out. I think they're quite rigorous, those
They
exams.
are. They are. So yeah, in a nutshell, that's my journey. I was very lucky. I had some great horses.
Yeah.
Some were really nicely bred, others were just normal horses, but they had great temperaments. So they were trainable, I guess you'd
Yeah.
put it like that. So
Yeah.
in a nutshell, that's what I've done. Um,
Wow. That's a really unusual journey that you had such a gap between your 20s and your 40s and a non-horsey gap. Um, so what was it about the coaching that you started to enjoy?
um, I just like making a difference.
Hmm.
I enjoy seeing different partnerships, the different, if you like, advanced horse, novice rider, novice horse, advanced rider,
Yeah.
both of them knowing nothing.
Yeah.
Everybody can improve. And it was that challenge that I really enjoyed. I've
Yeah.
also worked with quite a few para riders, which adds a whole different layer of complications of what they can and they can't do.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy doing that.
So with that horsey background in mind
Hmm.
and all the coaching and everything, how did you come to start to get into breath work?
Well, it came through my own personal experience in the first instance. And we traveled quite a lot, our family's abroad, and we we're lucky to make the most of being in New Zealand and have some great hiking. At the time, I was quite fit, and I just noticed that I was really struggling to get, uh, for want of another word, a satisfying breath.
Yeah.
And it would take me a while, more than a while, just to get into my rhythm. And it's a bit like saying, don't think about pink elephants. You start
Mm,
thinking about it. And so it played on my mind for a while. Some books came out, things started appearing because that's what happens. And I started become more interested in it. I use some techniques for myself, or more than techniques. I threw myself into it. That's what I do.
yeah.
And I really started to feel a benefit from that. Not only that, it supported me through some grief,
Yeah.
and it also helped me. It just helped. I just felt so much better. I was able to think more clearly, and I so I went and trained, which I have really, really, really enjoyed, and then started using it with my clients, with my equestrian clients. And not just them, other people that I've supported. I just kept getting the word game changer kept coming back.
Mm,
Um, we functional breathing is about the ability to breathe efficiently. And the problems, just going back to the riders that I'd seen with the riders, they were the same problems that I also see in, we were having in the rest of our lives. So that's
yeah.
why I now coach not just equestrians. And I now wrap my performance coaching, the stuff I've done for 25 years, in around the functional breath work. And it makes for a really unique, useful program for people.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so
It sounds, I mean, I don't know anything about the breath work, but it sounds very far reaching rather than this is going to help you obtain a great seat when you're riding or something
mm,
like that. It
mm,
sounds like it's far more all-encompassing because you could use it like you were talking about for your fitness, for your hiking, so that you're actually breathing efficiently, but also you can control certain mental and emotional aspects of you. You talked about the grief. What's involved then? I mean, if I were to sign up with you, how many minutes, hours a
yeah.
day or a week would I have to be practicing the
Um,
techniques?
so it's not about going and sitting on a yoga mat and, sort of putting an hour in and then going off for a week and coming back to doing that. The way I am coaching and supporting people is about integrating little micro practices into their day. For example, a little bit out of the equestrian context, but I supported a lady who had performance anxiety. At the end of the day, that's what it is.
Mm,
And she's terrified of flying.
yeah,
She had booked, or her family had booked a huge family trip to Mauritius. And for a year before that, she was panicking, worried about it. So we had connected, and I said, "Oh, could help a little bit if you want." And anyway, we did get going. So in answer to your question, we worked together for 6 weeks, but it was just once a week.
yeah,
And I would, in the first instance, it's about understanding where that person is. We're all different. There's some wonderful research that came out in 2025 that recognized that breath print, if you like, is as unique as our fingerprint. And they found that they could actually recognize people from their breath print.
wow,
So that just sang to me because that's how I coach anyway. My performance coaching, we are all different. We
yeah,
we just do need a different cocktail of
Yeah.
all the tools out there. So it, if you came to me wanting a program, it would be 4 to 6 weeks. It would be an hour, maybe an hour, well, it'd be an hour and a half to start. And we would take it slowly through the different ways of breathing. We look at the chemical aspect, the balance of carbon dioxide and oxygen. I'm not going to get too sciencey, but when we overbreathe, when we're panicking, I mean, you'll know this from, we when we are really worried about things and the way that we live nowadays.
Yeah.
We're in permanent stress. Our brains are just going, that you can't focus. And so we work on something called light breathing, about getting the balance in our body chemistry balance right. We look at the biomechanical aspect of it. So, yes, you can train your posture and your body controlled by the way we breathe, by actually not being on the horse. I mean, that's one of the things I do say to the riders is, oh, yes, you can train. You don't need to be on a horse. And then the cadence of the way we breathe, it's long been known that the way we breathe really affects our autonomic nervous system, and so I bring all three together, wrapped up in my performance program. So, long answer to your question. Probably if you wanted to do the whole thing, 4 weeks, with maybe another 2 weeks after that. Laura, who came to me for the fear of flying, we wrapped a lot of practices into her dog walks.
Yeah.
She was a photographer, so she would use those when exercises when she was walking. And we then built in all the other things, the mindset, visualization around her breathing. But where I come from, I'm quite a practical person, and it's if your mind is all over the place and the thoughts are everywhere,
Yeah.
it's sending you messages to your body that, it's fight, flight, or freeze.
Yeah.
And if by controlling and being in control of your breath, you can start to rejig those signals back to your brain that actually everything is fine and you are safe.
Yeah.
I go back to, I so wish I'd known about it. When I did my first international, I spent some time down on the Sunshine Tour, and my very first test had gone quite well. And that was the trouble. I came across HXF thinking, oh, this is quite nice. This is going well. Got to F, no idea where I was going.
Oh no.
Completely lost my focus. So, functional breathing keeps you in the moment. It keeps you present. It trains your focus.
Yeah.
It trains your tolerance to anxiety, because that feeling, that panic feeling in your tummy or at your throat is also biology. It's you've overbreathed, you've blown off carbon dioxide, therefore your body is panicking because it thinks it needs more air. What it actually needs is to balance so that your body can release oxygen into your body and into your brain and keep that clear thinking. So I'm just really excited about it. There's so many different ways that it can be taken. I think about children, if you could train their focus, keep their
Yeah.
mouths shut,
Yeah.
um, stop them running around, Um,
Mm.
but coming back to your questions, I mean, it's for in all aspects. I mean, of course, there's the horse-human relationship. If you're calm, they feel our breath. You'll know this from walking into the box. They know if we've had a bad day and we're breathing fast and we're breathing into our upper chest. So if we have the ability to have a bit of a reset before we
Yeah.
go in, then that hopefully we're only going to start off that ride in a much better way.
Yeah.
Um,
Definitely. Yeah.
I mean, coaches, here we are chatting away, mouth open, breathing through our mouth, where functional breathing is about breathing through our nose. Our nose, our mouth is for talking, for drinking, for singing, all those things, but it has nothing to do with breathing. Our nose filters and warms the air and prepares it for our lungs, and also has an added little bonus of producing something called nitric oxide, which opens up, it's a vasodilator and opens up our veins and lets the blood go through into our body. But it is also the way that it's done. It's not just about getting oxygenated blood into our body. It's about releasing the oxygen, and that's where we need that carbon dioxide balance.
Ah, that's interesting, isn't it? Because so
So,
many people, especially for instance, physical trainers, that kind of thing, um, they tell you in through the nose and out through the mouth, don't they, and all that kind of thing.
mm,
They do talk about the mouth as a breathing apparatus. That's really interesting.
mm.
Um, so I think you've kind of explored it, but you know, as riders, we're often told, or we often think more about our seat and our position on our hands and our, or you know, your heels and everything else. But I know for you then that this breathing and the breath work is the missing aid. Could you explain a little bit more about that?
Of course, that's a great question. I So going back, I just touched on it. If we are relaxed, if we are in a better balance, we are thinking more clearly. We haven't got those thoughts that are getting in our way. We can get in our own way. Um, it helps the relationship with our horse, as we've discussed, through calmer breathing. And it's trained. Yes, you can train it on your horse, but that's the whole point. It's more about, and also for the sports coaching, for the people, people who are going out and doing, I don't know, running a race or something like that. There is a point where you actually have to mouth breathe. There is that
Yeah,
swap over. But by breathing through your nose, you can, and pretty much for equestrians, unless they're going cross country or something like that, is really,
yeah,
you can, it supports your recovery afterwards because you slow your breathing and you recover more quickly. It keeps you more focused before. And I think, so I'll give you an example. I had a client who was very anxious. She had a lovely horse, and but things would go wrong. She didn't go out and compete too often. She was afraid to ride it out on a hack.
mm,
And so we worked together, normal schooling, but also on her breathing. And we used a technique called box breathing, which is very well known, um, used by the Navy SEALs for a mixture of focus and calm at the same time to keep you in so that you can really, again, it's about coming back to being in the moment
yeah,
and that connection with your horse. So she used it. That was, I think, the first time I heard game changer. And I got a text 2 or 3 weeks after she'd been using this technique, and she was in the middle of a local plain out hacking on her own.
yeah,
And just, funnily enough, the horse hadn't spooked. They'd
yeah,
enjoyed the hack.
yeah, yeah,
She was in the moment and she was present. So I think it's you still need all the technical know-how. You can't
yeah,
do it
yeah,
without knowing how to do it. But it's about adding that extra 1% or 2% or whatever as performers, whatever you're doing. It's used in other sports a lot more. I think it's something that as equestrians we need to maybe pay a bit more attention. I'll give you an example. For example, Djokovic, tennis player.
Hmm.
He pays great attention to the way he breathes, and you can see him in the breaks. You'll see him sitting there, and he actually puts his fingers underneath his rib cage. He's
Oh,
releasing his diaphragm.
yeah,
Every little bit. A lot of the football players in the recent championships, here's something they mouth tape their they tape their mouths at
yeah.
night to support nasal breathing.
Oh, wow.
Which and really improves sleep. And if you improve your sleep, then your day is going to go a whole lot better because
Mm,
you're feeling far more refreshed. And so it's about adding all those little things to, the equestrian performance, whether you are hacking out or going down that center line or
yeah.
across the diagonal, hoping to remember where to go when you get to S.
Do you think that equestrianism's a little bit lagging behind then, if other elite sports are already into breathwork and using it quite successfully?
Well, I do. I would be really happy to be proved wrong.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but I think that's why I've kind of called it the silent aid.
Mm,
We are doing it all the time. It's, and to breathe efficiently, we have 20,000 breaths a day, approximately. And if we can use those in the most efficient way, it's going to help us perform better, be better companions, think more clearly,
yeah,
um, and sleep better.
yeah. I'm
So yes,
thinking
I do
about
think.
the sellotape over my mouth already when I'm sleeping.
Please don't use sellotape. There are lots of mini mouth tapes are available, and it's like anything. It's about training, and it doesn't work for everybody.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I use it. I can't sleep without it now. But you can train yourself. Think about it. When we're tacking up and we're a bit nervous, how many riders will stop breathing? You know,
Almost all.
yeah. So
Yeah,
it's all about training our bodies to be the most efficient we can. And the mouth tape, there's some I use it often when I'm sitting at the computer because and suddenly
yeah,
you're breathing
yeah.
through your mouth. So it's about training these micro habits. And going back to Laura, who, with her fear of flying, she practiced and we use breath holds. So that is gentle. They're all gentle. And she would use those in habits. We wrapped everything around habits, whether she was filling the kettle or she was walking the dog or she was
Mm,
walking to the car. She worked in hospitality, so if she was standing in certain places, those would be her moments to focus in on her breathing. And as riders, I often say, when you go pick your saddle up,
yeah,
cleaning your bridle, close your mouth, breathe through your nose. Just in the first instance for riders, I think it's about being aware of how they breathe.
yeah,
Um, because if we and once they notice that maybe that how their breathing gets faster when they're nervous or they're in a rush, and when they feel calmer, when they feel quieter, then that's a good place to start to help retrain.
yeah, yeah. And you work with an array of different types of rider, from, like you say, people who don't want to compete, people who do compete, the para riders. How does the breath work help in those different circumstances? And I suppose for the para riders, because sometimes they have parts of their body that they can't move so well,
Mm.
how the breathing helps that.
It's not any different to
Hmm.
anybody else. We all have challenges and um, it just is just again going right back to the start. It's about, for me as a coach, it's about understanding their environment
Yeah.
and creating conditions for improvement. And now I have the breath work to do that. So a lot of so some of the para riders, yeah, they've got some pretty big challenges. So
Yeah.
that helps bring some calmness and some control, you know.
Mm,
And actually, a lot of them are hurting. So there's quite a lot that we can do to help with pain and anxiety.
yeah. Super. Um, could you even take us through a really, really short breathing exercise, just something that we can just take away as a little sampler, you know?
Absolutely,
Oh, that would be super.
absolutely. Well, here we are in the middle of the summer and it's really dry, and quite a lot of us have got hay fever,
Yeah.
or even a summer cold. So this technique is for clearing the nose, and I refer back to the um, um nitric oxide.
Yeah.
So we are going to just build that up a little bit in our noses, because that will clear the nose passage. And this exercise, I probably shouldn't tell you, but I will do in the first instance. It will help clear your nose. It is so most of the exercises in functional breathing work on breath holds after an exhale.
Yeah.
Other Others may breathe in. This is more real if you do it on an exhale. So it's about, and I would just say that if anybody's listening and they've got any medical, and if you're pregnant, no breath holds, please. Congratulations, but no breath holds. And if there's any health contraindication,
Yeah.
this is just, please be careful. So it's about taking a normal breath in through your nose and a normal breath out. I'll tell you it through first and then I'll demo it. But normal breath in through your nose and a normal breath out with your mouth shut. And as you breathe out, pinch your nose and hold your nose and hold your breath. And then
Okay.
you, it's going to look great on the video, isn't it? And then you gently nod your head up and down or sway sideways until you feel that first urge to breathe. So I don't want anybody to go blue, but it's
Yeah.
that oh, I need to breathe. And then you let go of your nose again and you breathe in. And the key is to breathe in through your nose, because while you've been holding your nose and putting your head up and down, you'll have been creating a little teaspoon of nitric oxide and carbon dioxide, and that will think about breathing backwards, not up. Everybody goes, breathe up.
Yeah.
If you think
Yeah.
about our nasal passage, it goes this way. So
Yeah.
just a good visual. So that's that. And then you do that 5 times. So just to say it again, normal breath in, mouth closed, normal breath in through your nose, normal breath out, pinch your nose, hold your nose, and then move your head up and down or to the left. If you're standing, you can sway a little bit. I have been seen at traffic lights doing this. Got some very funny looks. And five times should start to open up the passageways here and help you feel clearer in the mind. It's my go-to if I have a cold. Um, it's a recognized technique that I think is really efficient. And that's the wonderful thing about breath work, actually. We have it, we do it. It's free.
Yeah.
It is, yeah, you might come to me for some techniques, but I'm probably going to do myself out of a job.
Yeah. Super, thank you. So if anybody does want to sign up with you or find out more, where can they find you on the internet, on socials?
Sure. My website is signaturebreath.com, and you can email me at jane@signaturebreath.com. I'm also on Instagram at Signature Breath, and a little bit on Facebook, not a lot, but you can find me there. And I would be very happy to talk if anybody is curious,
Yeah.
um, to take them through some things. That would be great.
And I take it you can do sessions over Zoom for
Yeah,
international people or people who are a bit of a
absolutely.
distance. Yeah.
Yes, and I do. I have workshops that I do. We have every now and then, and if anybody is interested and wanted to do a workshop, I have complimentary workshops introducing functional breathing every now and then. So get in touch and I'll put you on the list and we'll meet up on Zoom. I do travel quite a lot, so yeah. Was in Canada and working with some people out there, but most of the time in the UK, in Hampshire. So can also meet up face to face with people as well.
Fabulous, fabulous. Thank you so much. That has been really intriguing. I'm definitely going to look you up. I'm already friends, I know, on not on Facebook, on Instagram, but I'm going to definitely delve into your website. Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, Tracy. I've really enjoyed it.